Yeah, excited to chat, see how things have been coming along.
Yeah, so do you want us to so what would you like from us? Would you like us just to kind of talk about um, working with you or how we built the platform together, or do you want us just to be natural and it'll just come through?
Yeah, I guess like why don't we just start like day one? You know, kind of like before we even met, like where were you guys? Where was the project? And then, through us working together, where is it now? And kind of like I guess like how do you see that transition?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I'll go first, maybe. So we have a freelance marketplace and we were looking for different options to build it because we've been working on the freelance marketplace using spreadsheets on our computer, Excel, Google Sheets, this kind of stuff. We'd outgrown that, so we're looking for options to build. Spoke to a few agencies, a few development agencies, and we got quotes from like 80,000 to 100,000 US dollars to build it. And then we looked at building it ourselves, what the no code options were. And we were then introduced to Airtable. And then the option became clear. We were going to build it with Airtable and look for someone to help us with that. And just to finish that segment, I think we probably ended up, reflecting on how much we'd pay people working on it in our business and yourself, probably ended up spending kind of 8,000, no, 12,000 US dollars building it. So that's, 12,000 US dollars that we spent building it compared to 80,000 or 100,000 were quoted by a development agency. And I am really happy with what we built. And I genuinely am confident that they would not have built it to the quality that we built it. So that's that. So anyway, day one with you, Cole. I think, yeah, we obviously walked through our platform with you, so our freelance marketplace with you, and then it kind of became clear that the our relationship would be one in which we would be working on the product for kind of 80% of the journey, and then you would help us with that final 20%, but in stages. So um and that I think worked really well for us. I think it especially worked well because it meant that we now really understand what we've built and we're kind of independent in that regard. And even now, for example, we've worked together for, however many weeks in that way. And, even though I'd say that we're, you know, you know, pr pretty well versed in, Airtable and Softr, this kind of stuff. Even though we're pretty good, we'll still work with you when we hit that speed bump or there's that one thing we can't do. Um, so yeah. Anything to add, Narumi?
Yeah, it's really, I think it's really what was the most beneficial for us was just saving our time, just asking to call like, so for example, while I'm building the Airtable and stuff that, and then there's something like I was unclear and how to create or like implement the feature, and I would just like go for it and then ask call, and then you would just like always have answer for that. So it's just like really, I didn't have to spend my time looking for the answer. And then there is obviously like a software and Airtable has community, and I think they have like both have Slack channel, but it was really helpful for me to yeah, like have a conversation in our meeting. And obviously I share my screen and then you share my screen, Cole, you share my screen and explain. So that was like really save our time and then also have a clear understanding like how to build Airtable and Softr, because it's kind of like a different, just reading the explanation on the website, and actually someone told you like this is how you do it. So it was like more like a lecture style. So I really like that part in this, like our kind of like co-advisory, Airtable with that software. Yeah, that's the.
And then I think the final thing to add is just often there are cases where there are a few ways of doing things, and maybe if you just went on to those online communities and asked, how do we do this automation, or how do we build this on Airtable, you'd get 3 different answers that were all right. But I think working with you, and we would have been able to build them, but I think working with you was great because you've either worked on a similar project and understood why one was the best, or one was the best for us, or understanding what we were building into the future. Even though this was, would take more time now, it would really save us time later. So I think that's just a way of saying, although we would have been able to build it probably by ourselves, it wouldn't have been as efficient for us. And there were so many splits in the road that it was really helpful you telling us actually which is the right one for us, which is was 100% worth paying for, and we really appreciated.
Yeah, I really appreciate the kind words. I guess my last question would be like, how confident are you in like say you have a new idea you want to implement or a new use case, say like 6 months ago, or not 6 months ago, but like when we first started versus now, like what's like the confidence level you have in like being able to build that yourself versus like, because a lot of my clients, they'll they usually do done for you, versus the people who do done with you work usually are able to like learn these tools to a degree where they never really have to do done for you work ever again because they're so proficient in the tools themselves, which is also, I think, a huge benefit of doing it in this model, where instead of having one person like do everything under the whole package, being able to like really I don't know, kind of like learn it all together. How's that? I guess like, how do you guys feel?
So I completely agree with you. I think we worked with you, obviously, and as you just said so well, because we were all learning together, or we were learning from you. It meant that even though you were educating us, we then understood why you built it in a certain way, and then how to manage it and edit it and adapt it ourselves. So that worked really well. And we're now at a place where we can work on it by ourselves for a bit, edit things, add automations here and all that kind of stuff. But I think if we were to take it to the next level or do something kind of out of our comfort zone, we would go back to work with you and then do it ourselves for a bit. I think that works really well, and it's just awesome what you can do no code, because I'm not a developer at all. I've never been a developer, and no code, what we could do was just awesome. Yeah, what do you think, Noemi?
Yeah, so the question would be like how confident I have to feel. Yeah. Well, I think like more than 80% for now, because I've been literally building by myself and asking you to how to build, and then now I kind of have I have a how to say, so for example, how I want to like create one feature, and then I can have the kind of like idea how to build in the like both Softr and Airtable and Zapier. And then like I'm not really sure. I know where the resources are. So you like Cody was like sharing the Softrs or Airtables, like resources where I can check. And then now I know how to investigate the tool itself. So that was great about was like you not only like demonstrate like, oh, this is how you do it, but you teach me how to investigate the that they're like a tool resources, because at the end of the day, those for like a Softr and Airtable, they were like allowable users to like build their own platform and their website by themselves. So it's really helpful to know where I can find the answer for my question. So yeah, that was really good. So I think, yeah, it's just like a really confident I can be pretty much like most of the features. But absolutely, as the Hamish said, if I have like, oh my god, how do I do this? Like out of like our comfort zone, I definitely come back to you and ask, how to build the feature.
Sweet. And then I guess I don't have too many other questions. I guess my last one would really be, who do you think like this type of way of working, like this type of model is best for? Do you think it's more for people like very similar to where you guys were, like really trying to like build this MVP, don't want to do custom develop route, but also want to be able to like actually work it on your own? Or like, would you say, I guess, like who do you think would get the most value from this kind of style of working?
So I'd say it is, as you described, it's someone building an MVP. So like if you're building your minimum viable product, you obviously want to build it in a way that you can be really agile and edit things and change things. And if you're building it with someone, you're able to edit things yourself and change things. You're also wanting to do it on a tight budget, which is what we did, $10,000 let's say, to build it, as opposed to 80 or 100, which is all of your budget you could have raised in your first a pre-seed funding, let's say. And what you can build is great. There's no for us, we really plan on using this platform into the foreseeable future. Even though it's an MVP, and even though it's like the kind of engine is Airtable, there's no reason why that can't manage like hundreds or thousands of projects that we're processing every month, and that can really take us to like a really meaningful distance before we have to think of building it ourselves, I think. How about you, Nui? What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. For like the MVP and a small company, like a startup, SMEs are like for the best for this, for some software and Airtable. But I think that absolutely like a software has lots of like the restriction for the feature and design. So if you are like really analytics, like trying to develop the application and like using like a heavy data, definitely the software and Airtable. It just really depends on the business of the startup and SMEs. And also like, for example, like, yeah, it's definitely if you are looking for like kind of like a platform and it's just kind of like if you need the website not super duper complicated, the software is great. And then now after I'm doing like Google Analytics and stuff, so if I want to change the like query in the website and then like to change the feature, I can just do it by myself. So it's really great to iterate that like a feature, and you want to like how to say validate what you were expecting the user to do. So it's that's kind of like really main feature that we really appreciate. So yeah, so it depends on the startup, the business, the size, and then if you want to change you want to try out, and MVP is for great for the software. Yeah.
Great. Well, I think that's most of my questions. I'm really excited to see, how the launch continues to go and like what the user feedback and all that stuff says. But yeah, I really love the product where it is right now, and I think it looks great. And yeah, really great chat with all of you guys today.
Awesome.
Yeah, you too, Cole.
And I guess, do you guys have any last things for me before we wrap up?
Why don't I can stop recording there,